Hi friends, nice to see you again. I'm your host, Alistair. Let's go over the 8 things that you're not doing that's probably holding you back financially. The average person believes that in order to start investing, you need to have a lot of money. You need to know a lot about the stock market. You need to either get into real estate or have all this capital. The truth of the matter is, of course it helps, but that's not a requirement. You don't need that to start investing. All you need is an investment account. How do you get an investment account? It's absolutely easy, I'll tell you. Vanguard Mutual Funds. Go on their website. Follow the details and the criteria to open an account. I can tell you right now, you do need to connect your bank account. So you do need to have a job. You do need to have an income. And they do have a minimum monetary requirement, which I believe is $1,000, which is super easy to do for most people. Once you open the account, you have to tell Vanguard where to invest your money into. Now, it might sound very complicated, but it really isn't. It's still very easy. You could put it into the S&P 500. It has shown many times over and over that it is a very predictable way to increase your wealth. And then let compound interest do its thing. Look, let me give you an example. According to the compound interest calculator from nerdwallet.com, let's put $1,000 initial deposit, which is what you will be required from Vanguard for you to open the investment account. Every year you put another $1,000 in. Every year. Let's just say for 18 years. Estimated rate of return. Let's put 5%. Let's just put 5%. It's more, but let's just put 5% to be conservative. This is what would happen after 18 years. You will have a total balance of $30,539 with a total principal of $19,000. So you put in $19,000, you come out with $30,000. That is absolutely amazing. And this is just on a conservative way, because I'm going to assume you have a job. I'm going to assume you could afford more than $1,000 a year to contribute. Let's change those numbers very quickly, right? Let's say you put that $1,000 initial deposit and then you put in $5,000 a year. It come out to a principal of $91,000, but a total balance of $143,000 and change on a 5% interest. That is absolutely amazing. That's the magic of compound interest. By you not having an investment account, you are losing literally money. Please wake up. Open an investment account now. Now, but just so you understand, with any money you make, you have to pay taxes, but you only pay taxes on the money that you've gained. So it's still a win. Speaking of taxes, you're probably paying too much in taxes. Let me explain something to you. Uncle Sam never loses. And as a W-2 worker, as a regular standard employee, you pay a lot of taxes. Here's how you can minimize that loss. First and foremost, quick disclaimer, always work with an accountant. I'm not that smart. So divert the intellect to people who are qualified to help you with that. But what I do know, what hobby can you monetize? Is there anything in your life that you can monetize? Anything. Do you garden? Sell the produce. Do you do a YouTube channel? Make an LLC. Find a way to monetize anything, because a tax incentive is really going to help you out. I'll explain. I use my little YouTube channel right now. This little office studio. Yeah, I get a tax break from that. And I get all this stuff as well. But always work for your accountant. But you know what else it does? It helps increase your income as well. Why not? My niece, who is 18 years old, she asked me this question and she was saying, what does it mean to pay yourself first? And I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. It's not as obvious as people might think. Well, I'll explain. Well, let's use your paycheck, for example. When you get your paycheck, when you look at your pay stub, Uncle Sam has withdrew its taxes already. Uncle Sam paid himself first before he gave you your check. It's the same principle. When you get your check, when you get any sort of income, the first thing you do is you put X amount of percentage that you've decided the amount, you put it towards your investment account. You put it towards you. You keep it. It's for you. It's for either a savings account, which I'm against that, by the way, but for the sake of the video, you put it away. I'll prefer if you put it in your investment account, but you put it away. Once you put it away, then you pay the essentials in order of priority. In other words, Don't become homeless because you paid your investment account first. It's money for your future self. That's what it means. Living above your means. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I'm going to tell you a little formula to dictate or tell you if you are truly living above your means. Okay? When using a credit card, if you're not able to pay for it within 30 days in full, then you cannot afford it. Furthermore, if you have to use a credit card for more than one purchases, and these purchases do not fall in the need category, and you cannot pay it in full within 30 days, then you're most likely living above your means. Listen, that's very important not to do. And I tell you why. It's because compound interest that I talked to you earlier, well, then you just became the compound interest factor for the credit card company. Every time you pay them your monthly installment of that card, you're giving them interest. You're making them so much richer. And you're losing so much money and time and resources. And so it's important that you really stay disciplined and you stay within the boundaries of what you can afford. If you want that, but you can't afford it, sorry, such is life. Such is life. I love this one. Financial self-reflection. So what does that mean? You know how sometimes we meditate, or we hang out and we watch Netflix, or we just veg on the couch. Well, guess what? Financial self-reflection is just a small moment you take to yourself, just as you would meditation. But you look into your financial situation and you ask yourself this very specific question. What can I do to increase my income? Notice what I did not say. What can I take away in order to increase my savings? That is significant. Study shows that it's actually easier for you to increase your wealth and increase your likelihood of financial independence by increasing your income than it is to increase your savings. Financial self-reflection. What can you do to increase your income? Ask yourself that question as much as you can. As much as you can. Yes. Your friends matter. Your friends absolutely matter. I want to read something to you. Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler conducted a study of social influence in relation to obesity. This is what they found. According to their results, if a friend of yours becomes obese, you yourself are 45% more likely than chance to gain weight over the next 2 to 4 years. More surprisingly, however, Christakis and Fowler found that if a friend of your friend becomes obese, your likelihood of gaining weight increased by about 20%, even if you don't know that friend at all. This is in the context of obesity, but we are social beings. So why wouldn't that apply in the context of finances? So yeah, the people you surround yourself with absolutely will affect your financial goals, future aspiration, and etc. And I know it sounds very crazy. And I know it sounds like, what are you telling me to do? Kick my friends to the curb? I'm not telling you to do anything. But what I would suggest is that you pay attention to the behavior of your circle and make sure it's conducive to where you want to go, where you see yourself in life, and then make this decision accordingly to what fits you best and what you want out of life. Not asking for a raise. You know, there are plenty of studies out there that shows why people tend not to ask for a raise. I'm not going to get into that detail. But what I do want to bring to your attention when it comes to this particular topic is that I guess it all comes down to understanding that no one is going to make the best decision for you other than you. So see, it all comes back to, I guess, a little bit of the mindset. I should go and ask for a raise. Of course it's daunting. Of course it's scary. Of course it's like, oh my God, I don't want to ask for a raise. I don't want to disturb the status quo. But you don't have to. And here's a way that you can go ahead and ask for a raise. A very simple one. Take it from me. All right. What you need to do, you need to go and research on the market value of your position, whatever that is. And then compare and contrast where you fall within that market value. If you fall lower, then see or analyze as to why you fall lower. Don't just assume that you're worth what the market says, because that's not always the case. So you have to critically think and ask yourself, why am I below market? If you're at market, great. If you're above market, great. You still need to kind of analyze why you fall into this space. What am I doing that makes me more valuable? And what am I doing that makes me so distinguishable that the market says, oh, my job is paying me more? Once you identify the value you bring, or once you identify the value that you're not bringing, it gives you a better understanding of where you are at the current moment. And again, I always say, in order to make the best educated first step forward, you need to know exactly where you are at all times within the construct not only of society, but the construct of your current situation. You can't make a good decision if you don't know where you are stepping on. Once you understand your position within the market, then you analyze the company that you're working for. So I'm assuming you'll be working there for a while, so you kind of know the hierarchy, you kind of know a little bit what your boss are, what your coworkers are doing. So in case you don't, analyze that for me a little bit. Once you understand that, and then you look at, okay, this is what the market says I'm worth. This is what my job says I'm worth. And this is what I provide in terms of the value according to the market and my job. Do I over-deliver or do I really under-deliver? If you over-deliver, maybe your job is giving you more tasks than what the market suggests, then you take that performance and you go in front of your employer and you say to them, look, I've been working here for X amount of time. You have to lay it out like that. You have to go very factual. I've been working here for X amount of time. Here's what the market's evaluation of my performance says. Here is my performance. Here is what you require of me. And here's what I've done. So, based on this data, I think I deserve a raise. Because when you come forward with that, what that does is switch the narrative. The employer now has paid attention and understands what the value they stand to lose should you walk away. Because if you just go in there and be like, give me a raise, what's going to happen is somebody else is going to take your job. But you have to let them know what value they stand to lose if they don't meet you or if they don't negotiate. But there's another aspect to this. That one that nobody talks about. The reason why most people are afraid to ask for a raise and afraid to disturb the status quo is because they don't have enough of a safety net. They don't have enough options to walk away. And that is a deeper issue. That comes down to having a nesting egg, having a healthy investment account. That comes down to having a nice security, financial security net behind you that gives you the confidence to go out there and start asking for your worth loud and proud. So because most people don't have that, they stifle their voice because they're afraid to lose their job. And then they'll be in big trouble. So don't let that be you. And of course, nobody can read your mind. So if you don't ask for it, you'll never get it. So ask for a raise, but do it the smart way. Remittance. Look, this is another interesting one. If you don't know what that is, remittance means you give money to friends and family. Simple as that, right? Hey, can I borrow some money? Sure. Hey, can I borrow some money? Sure. Well, the reality is that, again, finances is very cultural. And it's also very personal, obviously. So when it comes to remittance, depending on who you are, depending on what your cultural background is, you might have to do some serious, painful decoupling of what you may have been brought up to learn or know, or what you're accustomed to. But I have something to tell you. If your culture is that of remittance, you cannot build wealth, and you will always be in a state of feeling a little bit poorer. And do you remember the compound interest I talked to you about earlier? All the money you're giving away, even if it comes back to you, it might come back to you in a few years. That potential investment, those potential dollars that you're not getting back in time, you're losing potential more money, potential compound interest benefits that could have been done in the market just because it was out of your pocket, you lose that. So when you factored all that in over X amount of years, it could be a significant amount of money that you've lost out. So I'm not telling you not to lend money or give money. What I'm telling you is that depending on what your situation is, you might not be in a position to give or lend money. If you're not able to stand on your own 2 feet, you're not able to help anybody. And I think it's important to always remember that. It's not that you're a horrible person. It's just that that's not part of my financial goals. And discipline is very important when it comes to money. There's no other way around it. So look, there's one more. Just because you stuck around this long thank you for staying around and watching me. I appreciate you more than you know. And if you're new here, press like, subscribe, and then let's continue. The last thing that you might not be doing that's preventing you from really reaching to where you really want to go, you're probably not doing a adequate, robust, disciplined budget. You see, the key to budgeting is painful because you need to see how much money you're making. It's a very sobering, humbling experience. And a lot of times people they want to stay in their bubble. They don't want to know the truth. They want to hide from the truth. And that's normal because truth can be painful. Once you understand how much money comes in to the cent, that's important, to the cent, you have to iron out how much money is coming out. And you need to go and print out all your bank statements, literally. And if you use cash, get a receipt or try to stop using cash until you have your budget in order. And then once you have that understanding, you need to lay out the ground rules. You need to be disciplined. There needs to be rules. There needs to be rules. Yeah, budget. As a final thought, I always say, the construct of society is such that you're not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. No one is going to change it. And some people are waiting for a new world order. I don't know who they are, but there are some who's just sitting there thinking they will change within my lifetime. Now, maybe it will change, but you and I will not be alive to see it. So I don't know what to tell them. But the reality is that we have to function in a society that maybe we didn't choose, but that's just the way it is. And life is business. And life does not care. Life does not care what you've been through. Life does not care what you're going through. Life does not care. The person who really cares, maybe your parents, but the second person, actually the first person, should be you. You should take control of your destiny into your hands. Take control of your life and don't rely on anyone else to come save you. Be self-sufficient as much and as fast as you can, and give yourself options so you can have the power to walk away. Let me tell you something, there's no greater feeling than to walk into a situation and say, I'm not doing that, goodbye, and then going home with no worry in the world. Listen, there is no other better feeling than having options. Thank you for listening again. Look, thank you for listening. I'm very giddy today. I have no idea why, but I'm giddy. No, I have a busy day today. I do have to go. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. Press like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. And as always, I am your host, Alistair. Au revoir.